got an unboxing, and this is a gun that I have been waiting on for a very long time. So what we've got in the box, we have got the Walther PDP Pro full size 5.1 inch. Let's get this opened up and see what's in the box. All right, turn this around. Just opened up. Got the good old lock. I've got the Torx wrench to remove the plate for the optic. We've got 2 extra back straps. And we've got 1, 2, and 1 in the gun, so we've got 3 18-round mags. And then we've got the mag loader. All right, let's set this off to the side for a sec. See if there's what else we got in here. All right, got an extra spring and guide rod. We'll get into this here in a second, find out what this is for. Assume it's to run different ammo. We'll see. And under the padding, we've got the registration card, another booklet, installing the optic plate. We'll get into the optic plate on these two, and then we've got a really nice owner's manual. Alright, let's get this out of the plastic. The ECI out of it. We are clear. There's our 3rd magazine. And that's what it looks like. Let's get into the specs on this. So this has a 5.1 inch barrel. It is threaded. You can add a suppressor, comp. It's fully ambi. Does have the ambi slide release, both sides, just like the PPQ did. And the mag release is reversible. Now, one of the things that sets the PDP Pro apart from the PDP is it does have the aluminum mag well on it. And the other thing is the trigger, which we're going to get into here in a few. Alright, let's talk about the sights. We've got the white 3-dot sights. Focus you in here on the front. One thing that I wish they would have done was put suppressor height sights on it. Because by the time you put the mounting plate in there and the optic, the sights are going to pretty much be useless. So that's probably something that's going to have to be added to it down the road. Alright, so up front, we got a really nice size rail. I'll try to give you a size comparison of that rail. This is the Streamlight TLR1 HL. And as you can see, there's plenty of room for it. Fits on there nice. Alright, we're going to get into the dimensions. Our overall length on this is 8.6 inches. The slide length is 7.5 inches. The width is 1.34 inches. Your height is 5.9 inches. Your sight radius is 6.9 inches. And it's 2.8 inch reach to the trigger. The weight on this without the mag, 23.7 ounces. And with the magazine, 27.5 ounces. I am going to be using the Holosun 509T as the optic that's going to go on this. Now, this does not come with any mounting plates. And that's what this card that comes in the box is for. You scan this and you go on and pick either optic plate 2, 4, or 6. So since I'm going to be doing the Holosun, I will be going with optic plate 2. Alright, so let's get into the mags. Really easy to funnel up into that mag well. There is a notch in the mag well to grab these and rip them out if you have to, but they fall out nice and free, super smooth. And while we're talking about mags, this is something I wanted to show. If you already have a Walther PPQ like I do, the mags for the PPQ with these Taylor Freelance base pads on them will not work. Now, will they work with the factory base plates? I don't know. I'm not going to try it, but I can tell you these will not work. And the Canic mags with the base plates on them from Cane Arms will also work in my Walther PPQ, but they will not work in this. They will not go up in there far enough to lock in. So keep that in mind. You cannot use your PPQ mags or your Canic mags if you've got these base plates on them. And while we're talking about the PPQ, this is the PPQ M2. This has a Taylor Freelance magwell on it. And one of my biggest complaints with the PPQ was the grip. The grip was too small for my big hand. That was one of the reasons I put the magwell on it. Now it's a lot more comfortable in the hand. The PDP Pro, I've got all kinds of room right here. And this texture on this grip is just so nice. That was one thing that I loved about the PDP when I reviewed it last year, which was one of my favorite guns I reviewed on the channel last year. I wanted to buy my own PDP, but then when I found out that they were coming out with the Pro, I had to wait and get the Pro. Now I want to get into the back straps that are on here. The one that's installed on the gun now is the medium, and there's also the large and the small. Now I can already tell by the way this gun feels in my hand, I'm not going to use the bigger back strap. I'm going to stick with this one. Alright, let's break this gun down. Alright, so there's our slide and the spring. Give you a close-up look in here. Alright, there's the inside of the frame. When we were taking everything out of the box, we were talking about this spring, and this is a heavier spring, and they want you to use this if you're going to run a suppressor. So now I want to get in to my two favorite things about the Walther PDP Pro. The first thing are the serrations on that slide. They are just super aggressive. I really like it. Super easy to rack from the front, the rear. That was one of my favorite things about the PDP when I first saw it was coming out. And the best part of this gun is the trigger. And you're not going to hear me say this too often. I have never liked too many factory triggers. The Canic Pt.1 SFX trigger was pretty decent, and so was the trigger in the Walther PPQ. But I ended up switching the Walther PPQ trigger out to an Apex and the Canic to a Freedom Smith. But this trigger, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to get you focused in here. That is all the take up there is. And there's the brake. That's the reset. Super audible. Feels great. Amazing trigger. Let's compare it to the Apex in my PPQ M2. Same amount of take up and the brake. Just a slightly better reset, but not enough to justify replacing the trigger in the PDP Pro. I got the Wheeler gauge. Let's get a test on this. Zero it out. We are braking at 5 pounds. Now I can tell you right now, it does not feel like a 5-pound trigger, but the gauge does not lie. Let's yep, consistent, 5 pounds. So let's get a trigger pull on the Apex and the PPQ. Now we're braking at 5 pounds on that trigger also. Do one more. We'll try it down here a little lower. Just a touch over 4.5. So the trigger and the PDP Pro is going to stay. I am definitely not going to do anything with that trigger. That is just nice. Alright, there you have it. That is the unboxing video of the Walther PDP Pro full size. We're going to do a series of videos with this. We're going to go ahead and take it to the range. We're going to run it with iron sights, see how it does. And then as soon as the optic plate comes in, we'll get the Holosun 509T mounted on it, take it back out, and we might run a USPSA practice session with it, just see how it does. Let Keith run it, since he's the carry optics guy, and we'll let him see what he thinks about it. So we'll get about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 videos on this over the course of the next few weeks. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.